Okay, it shows I'm live. Please let me know if there is any audio issues here on YouTube also. Okay, showing live. So, greetings to all of you. Nice to see you after a break. It had been Shivratri and I was in Tirunamalai. Just returned today morning. Thank you, Miraji. Thank you for the feedback. I need a few seconds so that I can just share it to the people who have subscribed. So, whoever has subscribed, it goes directly to their WhatsApp. So, it becomes easier for them to log in. So in case you are not in the list and you want to be in the list, all that you need to do is just sign up there. It's a small form nothing, just put your contact and little details. I just need to know which area you are, which country you are, that's all, and your phone number and email, and these updates will be given to you directly. It's available on shiftingintoawareness.com/events. shiftingintoawareness.com/events. I'm in Mumbai for the first week of March, and yes, I'm updating whoever is signed up there. I'm updating the events. I forgot which places are there. I'm invited into 3 places. One I remember was Ghatkopar. The other is okay. I got to look in that. Somewhere 3 places. It's there on the website. If you go there, you'll find it. Shiftingintoawareness.com/events. Those 3 satsangs are mentioned there. One is a Zoom, and 2 is at location. One is in a hotel and one is in somebody's place. They've invited, and they are all followers of this Shifting into Awareness platform. So greetings to everyone. Yeah, none of them are associated with any other path or anything. They are either from Rishi Gurukulam or they don't have any path. So they have just been following Shifting into Awareness, and I've told them to keep it very private, because I don't want anybody from any other path to come and just get confused. Neither I have any intention to get anywhere and get on people here and all that nonsense. I'm lost for all that. Whichever path you are, whichever religion, whatever you follow, add awareness to it. That's my theme. And if you do that, you will get results. And even if you don't have a path, and if you still do the simple awareness methods that I'm teaching here, you will find delight in it. You will find delight in it. And you will find transformation happening. And that transformation will be measurable. Very easily measurable. You don't need any device. If you just walk a few days, months, weeks, and just turn back and look at what were you before you began this practice, you will easily know. So your own experience will speak for itself. Well, sometimes when people are confused or they have doubts on the path, for them I make all these posts. I get from somewhere somebody sharing their experience. I put it here just to assure, because the mind is so strong, caught up in all the beliefs and conditioning. We've been very badly conditioned from childhood. Oh my God, it's so difficult. So difficult to uncondition it. So most of my challenge with people who seek help is to uncondition them first, because with all that conditioning they seek help, And day once it's not going to come. Even I'm talking to you, it's not going to come. Transformation changes will not come if you are holding on too much of the old, and most of it is crap. Most 70 to 75% of what we hold is crap, which is useless, which is no more working in our life. But for whatever reason, we hold on to it. And when we hold on to it so dearly, it becomes very, very difficult for the new to come in. For the new to come in, you have to ensure that the old is old. Old means what? Old belief systems, old way of thinking, old patterns. There are very much rigid patterns within us. And we are worse than children, 100%. There's no doubt about it. We are just worse than children. Children are so beautiful, they are so pure, they're so open. Poor thing. And I look at them, I feel, oh my God, now they are going to be conditioned, and God knows. They will lose their divinity with our interference, with our buddhijeevis. We are so intelligent, the society becomes so intelligent that we drill all this nonsense of the crap that we have collected from lifetimes and don't know since how long, decades. We are filled with all this dirt, and we give them that, and we think we are giving them the best of nourishment. All the children, pitiable state is, they are so flower like, they're bloomed, they're so innocent, they're so transparent, they're so simple, they're so normal. Divinity, you look and observe at a child, you can see a divinity blossomed in them. you know if you really observe children, why like I was with this kid Kiera, and I posted today itself this video. Not just her, I've been with so many kids. Wherever I go, there are some of the other kids, and I find it so beautiful to live with them, so easy to be with them, and they also find me also easy to be with them. Why is that so? Because simplicity, they don't understand complexities, and we are complex human beings, too complex, too much complex for them to handle, and their simplicity is too complex for us to handle, our egos to handle. So children and adults can't get together very easily. And what do the adults, the whole society, if you look at society now, I'm talking about children because I've seen them in Rishi Gurukulam, the whole set of children that are there. All the children, even in schools. When I had been to my friend's house the other day. I insisted that you go to Rishi Gurukulam, take a child there, go there and see how the things are. Stay if you want. I'll request somebody there, and you can go and stay there, and you'll know what's happening to children. Better than conditioning them with all our nonsense, and then when they grow up as a teenager and we find strangers staring into our eyes, and then running around to uncondition them, instead of doing this double work, it is best not to condition them itself. And there are places like Rishi Gurukulam and all that where condition doesn't happen. We don't put conditions into them. All our rigid patterns, or how the way society works, how the way the world thinks, so much of nonsense in this world. I'm sure you know about the nonsense because you yourself are fed up. we we when we look into the world only, we are so fed up that we want isolation. We prefer to live in isolation. That's much better. Why? Because nonsense. And if the children are let being the way they are, however they are, they will just blossom. And so all the effort that is made to make children blossom is not to pollute them. That's it. And we need places like this, Rishi Gurukulam and all, where children are not polluted, or at least an effort is made to pollute them in the least manner possible. That makes more sense to me. So wherever I go, I see children, I recommend them go and see. Your parents also go and stay there for some time and see how the environment is, see what happens. Look at the children who have been there, who are still there. Look at the differences that you can see in outside society and look there. Now, today's session, I'm not just talking about children because we are grown up children. We were once upon a time children. The nonsense that happened to us all our life is the nonsense that we carry. As simple as that. We are a byproduct of what this society, what this whole conditioning has made us. And it's so difficult. And when we grow up into adults and when we want to pursue spirituality or go deeper, what stands before us as obstacle is all this conditioning. So whenever I have personal sessions with anyone, the biggest challenge is to uncondition them from all this childhood stuff. And the more stuff they accumulate, the biggest problem. If they have traumas, then it's more difficult because all these traumas go into their psyche, into their memories, and the phobias, all this, already we have baggages from previous lifetime, then this lifetime's baggages. All this keeps adding on so much of muck. And then even if you want to, you find it so difficult. The post that I make here on shifting into awareness, it's so difficult to digest. You must have seen it. You'll have triggers when you see that. And one go, you cannot take it. Maybe if you have the courage, you will read it twice or thrice. If you're really serious, people will read into it because you're facing that truth. Otherwise, it's very difficult. You cannot look into that. But I will persist. I will persist. I will keep doing this only because I don't want that melodrama which is going on the other part of the world, same nonsense to happen. What is the difference then? Everybody's serving the same kind of stuff, nonsense. And wherever I look, I can see more of muck added. We are not unconditioning. We are again adding new layers of cementing them with new things. It is not wiseness to remove one concept and to add 10 concepts on them. What? I mean, it looks like a so awakened world, but simple fundas I cannot understand. Why condition so much people? Whereas we don't focus on unconditioning people. We never talk of what is not required in your life. That is because we ourselves are not unconditioned yet. See, if I am full of conditions and I sit teaching here people, what is going to pass on to them? My conditions are going to go on to them. So somewhere there is a catch. And if people trust me, if you have faith in me, and if you are just blindly believing me, I do no more nonsense to you, then good. That's the moral and ethical responsibility that a spiritual being should first take up, especially on the path of liberation. Rest all is okay. Rest all drama that we do is okay. Become this and that in this world, and okay, that's all melodramas, all good for that. Because to become something, to achieve something in this world, you need more layers. To achieve something in the Bhautik world or the Sansaric world or the materialistic world, you cannot remove things. Please understand this. Because if you remove, you won't sustain in the worldly life. Because worldly life itself means new concepts, bringing up new things. You got to be new, you got to be fresh, you got to be competitive. In the world where there is so much of competition, we teach our children to compete. What is all the school system doing? It's simply teaching children to compete, how to become best. How to become best? What does that turn into? When the vasanas are added into it, what does it turn into? It turns into a competition of winning by hook or crook. Then nobody is bothered about morality or ethics or anything like that. You just want to win. And you look at the nonsense that goes out in the world. I'm calling it continuously nonsense because that should hit hard on it. You look at anywhere, you look into televisions, you look into the competitions, the programs, anything, elocution competition, poetry competition, painting competition, any kind of competition that you have in school. First of all, this word competition itself is war. It's nothing but war. In tender minds, you put competition, the word competition, it is putting war into them. It is telling, beta, how you got to be smarter than the other, how you got to overthrow the other person and become very smart. So when you do that, what's going to happen? You're training the children from that area of focus. And to become the best, to throw others down, to become the best means what? It's simply, you look at children. I'm shocked when I look into some schools. You look at children, there is heavy competition going on there. I was in one school in one village where marks card was being distributed. And when the marks card was given into just distributed on everybody's desk, no child is bothered on looking into their marks. They are all looking into each other's marks. Conditioning. They are not happy, even if it is 50 out of 50, or if they have got 48 out of 50. They are not bothered into their 48. They are not happy with their 48. They are looking into who has got 49. Who has put this into their head? Parents, society, teachers, universities, schools. And these are the beings, after 10 years of education in this robotic mechanism, turn out to become giant competitors when they come up. They head out into a world only to compete. Compete even means hook or crook, ready to kill kind of attitude, ready to do anything. You must have seen horrible stories also in teenage and adulthoods and all that, when people are going ready to pay a price for anything just to win, just to win, just to be in that position. Why? Because they're all the time threatened by the seniors, by the elders, that you got to be good, you got to be winning, you got to be successful. If you are not at the top, you are a failure. This is the bullshit that we have taught the whole humanity. And the whole humanity wants to stand up for the top position. It's absurd to even think 7.5 billion people all on the top. Is that possible? So the worldly systems are completely different. These are the conditions that we have applied, and we are not spared. We ourselves have not been spared by this. You look into your own life, you'll see that all these conditions that you have built up from schools and society, you are living that horror today. All the horror that you carry, maximum of it is coming from your childhood and teens, that you have learned, picked up from society and here and there unconsciously. So now your challenge as a spiritual being is to shed these things, and you are unable to shed. Why are you unable to shed? Because it has got roots, foundation in it. Now even it has got roots so powerfully that even God comes and tells you this is not for your own good. You will question God, or you will question yourself, or you will double check into that, or you might take 10 different advices, or you yourself might take days to recheck whether that is true. Why so? Even if it is not for your own good. That is how powerful the conditioning can happen to human minds. Now, if you look at everyday life, daily living, most of us who are sad, most of us who are gloomy, most of us who are not feeling happy, if you look very deeply into it, they are all the byproducts of your conditioning, nothing else. There's nothing wrong with you. If you are a person of awareness, if you have been practicing this awareness, you'll easily come to know this, that there's nothing really wrong with you, but you have caught up all the wrong things and you're not let going that wrong things because you believe those are for your good. And the world around you is very wise enough to tell you this is for your, embrace it, keep it embraced. Nobody will ask you to take this. Like, for example, we are walking on the path of spirituality. How many of us teach vairagya? Vairagya means what? Dispassion means what? Detachment means what? Nobody teaches detachment here. Observe this very carefully. Even the so-called best of paths don't teach detachment. Vairagya is the last word, and you might have never even heard vairagya there, or detachment or dispassion. Why? What is dispassion? Not clinging on to. Simple. Clinging on to something, thinking that this is mine and this is going to be forever, is attachment. Opposite of that is detachment or vairagya or dispassion. How many of the paths and schools in spirituality teach this or give even importance? Forget teaching to dur ki baat. How many even talk about it? You cannot talk because the moment you talk, you lose people. People will run away. It's a big loss of income. People will just run away because people don't want to lose anything. All the catch is in the people whose minds are full of clinging and attachment. Nobody wants to let go of anything. So if I want to mince something out of you, make something out of you, I have to tell you what you love. What you don't love, if I tell you, you know what will happen. I will lose followers. Rapid rate. Here it is not a problem because right from day one I have kept only that much. Only those who can bear it stay. Otherwise, run away. Why? Because if I don't tell you straight on this, on face, you are going to loiter around thinking that some more things to cling on to here, and which you are never going to get. Never ever will get it here. You can see all the posts right from day one. Past 3 years, it has been straight spirituality, all about the mysticism, the mystics, what they talk, what are the shastras they talk, what is the truth, ultimate truth, supreme truths, and what is hidden out there in the society. I've brought that, made an attempt to bring that, all which has been kept hidden, like the Upadesha Saram. Shiv Mahapuran, everybody has heard, and we have been enchanted by it. How much we love characters, how much we fall in love with these stories. Oh, you might sit and challenge me that these are not stories, they are truth. Okay, if it is your truth, tell me how much that truth has brought any truth into your life. That's my question. I'm not challenging whether it's a story, a mythology, or if it is real, or if it is history, or whatever. Because for me, the essence I catch it, and the essence I get it, that's it. I have always told this. If you love Krishna, you must one day move very close to the consciousness of Krishna, not to the personality of Krishna. If you move to the personality of anyone, you will get caught up. Even wars are happening. Look out there. The name of gods. All the naras given. What is that? It only boosts your ego. And what else is going to, this is our personality and this is what I am trying to make. Array, what has it done good into your life? You do naras. If it makes you more arrogant, more rigid, more negative, more angered, and more of all the tamo and rajas, if it is filling you up, whoever the god you proclaim, it has not done any good to you. That much common sense, if somebody understands, then they are into practical spirituality. If that much cannot be understood, कोई कुछ नहीं कर सकता तुम्हारा, कोई भी जात का भगवान नहीं कर सकता. I can tell you this openly. Because all the Bhagwans that we talk about are only tattvas. They are very essential tattvas. भगवान भगवान नहीं हो सकता जब अगर वो आके आपके लाइफ में पोस्टर चिपकाने को बोले आपके घर पर. दैट इज अ सेलिब्रिटी. सेलिब्रिटी लव्स फोटोग्राफ आप सब तरफ दीवार पे चिपकाए हो एंड उसका पूजा कर रहे हो एंड यू आर fascinated by it. Celebrities will love it because celebrities want fans and followers. उनका काम उससे चलता है. Do you think भगवान will do that? But Our conditioning is so much with these kind of systems. हम भगवान को भी वो स्वरूप. I always tell this, whatever you look at, the reflection of God is nothing but your own human reflection. However you treat God in your life is exactly how you treat another human being or your society and how you look at life. So if you love the worldly vasanas of that celebrity, of honoring and just being proud, it is the pride that you have. जितना ज़्यादा poster चिपकाओ, I'm a fan of this person. You have seen every fan will always take the mic and say, "Sir, I'm a biggest fan. Ma'am, I'm a biggest fan." Have you seen this? Do you see any truth in it? Because tomorrow if they go to some other celebrity, they will say, "I'm a biggest fan." A plain lie. You may be a fan, but how can you be a biggest fan? उधर भी competition है. I want to be the biggest. And fake world, they appreciate it. Even the celebrity is very happy when somebody says, "I'm the biggest fan." Not seeing that every Tom, Dick, and Harry is telling, "I'm a biggest fan," to flatter you. Because that industry is a flattery industry. The more you flatter somebody, the more they are flattered. And that is not God Tattva, my dear. Param Tattva, the Guru Tattva, and all these Tattvas which are very high and subtle, they are not in this nonsense. But how do we treat them? Because our vasanas are little, we treat them also like that. And we imagine they are going to be very pleased. And I always say, a guru is pleased is not a guru. A God who is pleased is not a God. Because being pleased is a guna. It's a rajasic guna. Aham, the pride that rises in, it's a rajoguna. आप मेरी तारीफ करो तो मैं छाती मेरा सीना फूल गया और ज्यादा ब्लेसिंग दे दूं. Doesn't go by that. What is the nirguna nirakara? No guna. Just a witness, or it observes everything. Rest all happens according to your own doing. That's the param tattva quality. I'm not saying it. Read your own shastras. But we have forgotten our shastras because we are stuck in Puranas. We have forgotten the Vedas and Upanishads because we are stuck in Puranas. Why Puranas? Because the Purana is enchanting. It's all depicted by stories and so many things you can relate to, all the characters, the personalities, and we can reflect our own life and we feel so beautiful in that. The ego enhances so much. And that is why people even claim, I am a proud XYZ religion. I am a proud so and so religion. Pride is what? Aham, ahankara, ego, rajasic, agni tattva. So if something is boosting your agni tattva so powerfully, and we are talking a path of liberation where this all has to be burnt down, don't आपको विपरीत नहीं दिख रहा इसमें? Conflict, are you not seeing the conflict in this? I mean, if even if we make a simple child sit and talk to and ask this question, they will be able to tell. It's not so difficult to tell, but we are unconscious. बोध ही नहीं है. क्या हो रहा है बोध ही नहीं. Blindly we are going by systems. I have told this many times. We run by our own fear and greed. We are dominated by that. Rest all is conscious running around. Patti बांध लो भागो. And how the whole society is running, I also run. Bhagdod. And there also competition. There also different competitions are going on. There also you see the dharma, the religion also. जिसकी ज़्यादा उनकी वो demand. They proclaim we are the biggest, we are the highest. देखो, they will even count and tell इतना इतना percentage ये religion में उसमें है ये है. I don't know which religion is what, but I'm telling you, I've seen. I've never put my attention into that. But the talks are that way. So what are we trying to tell in religion and spirituality? That we are the best, or we are the largest, or we are the biggest. And what makes us swell and say we are the biggest and the strongest and the largest? Ego. So are we here? इसकी पुष्टि करने के लिए are we here in spirituality? ये कौन सा पाथ है? वेयर इज इट लीडिंग अस? लिबरेशन? कम ऑन, we are here to destroy all these things, but until we become even aware of these simple things, just aware, conscious, एक बोध भी जब तक ना हो, you will get caught up, simply get caught up. और इतनी strong condition, my god, whenever I put a post, डायरेक्ट बोलो, वन टू वन तो छोड़ो, एक पोस्ट डाल दिया हिल जाता है एक एक people, they immediately send internal posts of what they fear. Like मैंने परसों भजन गाया, मोरे सर से टली बला, मैं पनिया भरन से छूटी रे, मोरे सर से टली बला, मैं राम भजन से छूटी रे. The moment I sang that, few understood it. The other felt threatened. Threatened by our culture, our religion. अरे पहले सुन तो लो ठीक से. वो लाइन आपको खटके, that line might hurt you, but look at the whole theme. You cannot hate Kabir. You might love him. Many love him, many hate him for his direct words. So it's that famous saying, you may love me or hate me, but you can't ignore me. It's like that. Kabir is like that. You may hate him or you may love him, but you can't ignore him. You can't ignore why? It's the truth, ultimate truth he speaks. So why does this shake so many things, you know? I was looking into one video of a guru, of a master. He's a master. And somebody was singing a song of Kabir, a beautiful song of Kabir, the Avadut song. उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला, जग दर्शन का मेला. उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला, जग दर्शन का मेला, जग दर्शन का मेला, उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला. अब ये तो हमको पता ही है, उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला. हंस मीन्स व्हाट? इट्स द सोल, आत्मन. So we are saying the Atma will one day leave the body. And how it is going to leave? It's going to अकेला ही. You cannot go with. टोली के साथ नहीं जा सकते हो. आपके बेस्ट फ्रेंड के साथ नहीं जा सकते. आपके बेस्ट रिलेशनशिप के साथ नहीं जा सकते. आपका मोस्ट डियरेस्ट लवर के साथ अब नहीं जा सकते. आपके बच्चे के साथ नहीं जा सकते. आपके माता पिता के साथ नहीं जा सकते. वो तो छोड़ो, आपकी पूरी जमात के साथ नहीं जा सकते. जिस जमात को हम पकड़े हुए हैं, इतनी भीड़ को, वो भीड़ में से एक भी नहीं रहेगा. उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला, जग दर्शन का मेला. व्हाट इज ही सेइंग? ही सेइंग 2 दिन की दर्शन, दर्शन का मेला है, ये विटनेस करने आए हैं हम यहाँ पे, और उसके बाद काम करके उड़ जाएगा. हंस अकेला उड़ेगा, अकेला. कितना भी स्ट्रांग आप उसको, कितना भी पवित्रता में भी लो, हाउ मच एवर यू पुट इट इनटू योर डिवाइन रिलेशनशिप, इंक्लूडिंग द गुरु डिसाइपल, उड़ते समय अकेला ही उड़ेगा. तो कबीर जैसे, सम पीपल, वी आर गिफ्टेड, वी आर सो थैंकफुल, सो मच ऑफ ग्रेटिट्यूड, बिकॉज ये लोग नहीं होते थे ना, सार मिस हो जाता, फिर सब भ्रम में जीते. एवरीबडी वुड हैव लिव्ड इन डिल्यूजन्स until poets like this or great mystics like this would not have opened up many secrets, because all our seniors and elders, you see, even in dharma, in religions and all that, there's so much of hidden things, it's not yet fully out there. Like the Upadesha Saram I said, we all talk about कर्म करो, कर्म करो, कर्म करो, कर्म करो, कर्म करो, and we take, भगवान ने बोला है, शिव महापुराण में भी बोला, ये करो, वो करो, ये करो, वो करो, according to our vasana we will look into that. But फिर उसमें छुपा हुआ एक चैप्टर, why is that one chapter that is hidden in that not revealed, in which Lord Shiva is telling, "कब तक ये करोगे बेटा? कर करके कब तक करोगे?" And to whom is he saying? He's not saying to the ignorant Agyani. He's talking to the most wise Gyanis, the rishis. Rishis are supposed to have reached that state, enlightened beings. So he is talking to the so-called enlightened beings. कर रहे हो कब तक करोगे? And then as expected they give the normal excuse, because हम लोग excuse में बहुत माहिर हैं. They have already all the answers to defend our conditioning. So the condition that is there, that we need to do something, and since we are elevated soul, we do it for others. बहुत बड़ा सेवा कर रहे हैं हम लोग. तो सेवा कर रहे हैं तो we are serving the world, we are saving the world. So they give that answer that we are doing this kind of a world. And Lord Shiva says, even if you do that, you are still stuck. Why don't you see that? Whichever, whatever the reason might be, even if it is the so-called Nishkam Seva, you are still stuck. Because everything that you do has an outcome, cause and effect. You cannot escape that in the dual world. On earth, whatever you do, an effect is going to come back. So whenever you create a cause, a sankalpa or a yagya se pehle, whatever sankalp you do, even if it is for loka kalyana, it has an effect. And that effect binds you to more births. That is what Lord Shiva educates them. You are bound by birth and death cycle, my dear. You have to come back again. And you have been doing the same thing for a long time now. Every time this excuse. See, I never heard this tattva anywhere until I came to Ramana Maharshi's place, Arunachala, Tiruvannamalai, where such kind of exposures are very common. Whatever is hidden in the outside world, glamour spirituality, you will see here in simple spirituality. Very, very simple. You will not see any glamour there. The books are simple. See, look at this. Books like this. Very simple. इसमें क्या illustration है, क्या है? Priced 90 rupees, 80 rupees. Very, very simple. Because the intention is very clear to bring clarity to the glamour industry of spirituality. Probably, probably why it has to be the Lord's play only, because that is the Shiva Tattva, Shiva Bhumi. And it said so many times very clearly that it's a Jagrit Tattva of Shiva. And that is where first the Lord Shiva manifested in the form of light, Arunachala. And then Arunachala only pulled a saint from Madurai, from somewhere deep down there, somebody called Ramana, and made him live there. And he exposed so many simple things to the world. Something which we call as the direct method, or the direct path. Instead of घुमा फिरा के ये वो करके go to the self, he said directly also you can go there. But that's a question of how many are ready for it. Only not everybody can go there. Those who are not ready, okay, go through other paths and giso pito and clear your consciousness. साफ करो अपनी सफाई अपने चित्त को, purify the mind to a certain state. So when you have purified your mind to a certain state, then you're ready. That readiness takes you to the direct path. That also is very clearly said. There is no promotion. That ashram did not put anything else into it. Ramana did not add any glamour to it, because he was least bothered about followers. He was a caveman, sat in the cave. So he exposed all these things very directly. And those who found it very profound and straight and simple and neat, without having your mind to go through all sorts of stuff, and who were felt they were ready, they just followed. And there were so many enlightened beings even in that path of direct inquiry. You go into Ramana Ashram, you'll see all the great ones who followed him. All their samadhis are there inside. In the ashram only. The enlightened beings, so many of them. Annamalai Swami being one of the closest and most closest to his practices, Ramana's tattva. Annamalai Swami's samadhi is little inside. You go from there, you ask anybody, they can go. These are examples of success. When a Mahatma leaves, in during his lifetime only there are enlightened beings around him. After also there are. Like Ramakrishna Mission, if you see. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, when did he go? But even today it produces enlightened beings. Then the physical master is not there. So is it the master, physical master, who is doing it? If that is the case, then there should have been no enlightened beings today because the master is no more there. It means that the tattva is working. There are some principles that are there to be adhered to, and we forget the principles. We are caught up with the personality. Why? Our vasanas, our conditioning, because we are taught to see everything in physicality. I'm telling the simple things to bring awareness. I am still on the topic only, but until you let go of the old conditionings, you cannot bring in this simple awareness also. It's as simple as that. So it says, जैसे पात गिरे तरुवर पे मिलना बहुत दुहेला न जाने किधर गिरेगा ना जानू किधर गिरेगा गगन पवन का रेला. Talking that पत्ता कैसे पेड़ से गिरता है, one leaf falls off from the tree, no one knows where it is going to exactly fall. He's talking about our soul. We do not know exactly where we are going to land up in. Exactly, precisely most. Why? Because there is a wind always. What is this wind? This is our conditionings. These are our karmas. Gush of wind. It might push us. How much ever we think we are spiritual, and last moment one gush of wind of one vasana might push us somewhere. We don't know where we are going to land up. So that is what Kabir is explaining here. जगदर्शन का मेला उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला. See, these are all related to the conditionings only. That's why I'm taking this song here. And he says, जब होवे उमर पूरी जब छूटेगा हुकुम हुजूरी यम के दूत बड़े मजबूत यम से पड़ा झमेला. Means जब छूटेगा, जब होगा umar puri means when we are ripened, our age is ripe, when the time is come to leave now. Jab is talking when the Hans will fly. When is the Hans going to fly? When our time is over, when all our karmas are exhausted, the prarabdha allotted in this lifetime. And then he says another, कब होगा? जब छूटेगा हुकुम हुजूरी. जी सर जब नहीं छूटेगा तब तक नहीं होगा. जब ये छूटेगा हुकुम हुजूरी, हुकुम करना या हुकुम लेना, हुकुम सुनना, हुजूरी, जी हुजूर, जी हुजूर. वो चापलूसी भी हो सकता है. इट माइट बी स्लेवरी, इट मे बी फ्लैटरी. हुकुम हुजूरी, you want to please everybody, you want to be pleased, you want to please. So this is called hukum huzuri. What is hukum huzuri? Slavery. The world has built up beautiful systems to make you slaves and told you you have to listen to hukum huzuri. Then only something तुम्हारा भला होने वाला. We never question that because the systems teach us not to question anything. Don't question anything, otherwise you're in trouble. You question and see, suddenly you will become rebellious. You'll be called a rebellion. Why? Because there is no clear answers to these things. And I always say, anywhere we go, there should be clarity. In life, in any systems we follow, any organization we follow, any governments we follow, anything, there should be clarity. If there is no clarity, there will be clashes. If not outside, at least inside. And inside clashes will lead to outside clashes. Simple. So clarity should be there. If you have observed, I take in all your questions here, whatever your questions are. I never say write a mail to me so that I can get an opportunity to select, and whatever I know or whatever I want to tell, I tell, and whatever I want to protect, keep hidden, I don't look into that. Why? There should be clarity. We are talking about clarity. Whatever, all our questions should be answered. If we take the responsibility of doing this kind of work, is the responsibility to even clarify everything. Clarify related to the spiritual journey or whatever we are talking, the subjects what we are talking, that should be clear. And Kabir is clarifying everything. Kabir is very, very clarifying here. Very much he is clarifying. So he is saying, जब होवे उमर पूरी, when your life is coming to an end, और जब खत्म होगा तुम्हारी हुक्म हुजूरी. And whom are we doing hukum huzuri? To everybody. We are doing it to the governments, we are doing it to universities, we are doing it to societies, we are doing it to the families. In the family भी हुकुम हुजूरी चलती रहती है. We are doing it in offices. Anywhere you go, हुकुम हुजूरी चलती है. Why? To win votes, to be in favor, to be in good books. So what he is talking is all the fakeness has to be, fakeness को फेंकना पड़ेगा. So he's saying, जब होवे उमर पूरी, जब छूटेगा हुकुम हुजूरी, तब निकलना पड़ेगा. उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला, तब आप लड़ नहीं सकते. He's saying, जम के दूत बड़े मजबूत, यम, the lord of death, उसके दूत, the messengers of the lord of death are very powerful, you cannot fight. यम के दूत बड़े मजबूत, यम से पड़ा झमेला. Now you have got entangled with the yam's दूत. Why do you want to get entangled? Who gets entangled? Those who don't want to leave. Who is the one who doesn't want to leave? Who has full of attachments, full of pleasures, fully soaked in this maya? They will 100% have difficulty while leaving the body. It is not according to our wish. One wish that I want to go. People often tell me, no, I don't want to come back here. When I have personal sessions, they tell, no, 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 no. This is my last life. Oh my, no. You cannot just say like this is my last life. Just because you are fed up, it doesn't mean life is going to spare you. जम के दूत नहीं छोड़ेंगे, जम के दूत भी नहीं, और आपको जीवन देने वाले दूत भी नहीं छोड़ेंगे. Your karma is balanced, you have to come back here. It is an automated system. और वहां पे हुकुम मुजूरी नहीं चलता. You cannot flatter anybody there. वहां पे चित्रगुप्त रिश्वत नहीं लेते. वहां पे यम अंडर टेबल सैंक्शनिंग नहीं होती है. You cannot bribe the yam दूत. You cannot bribe the चित्रगुप्त. You cannot alter the cases. You cannot do anything because it's an automated system. So just a wish that I don't want to come back here won't spare you. Once you understand this science very clearly, you will become honest. We don't become honest because we have not looked into these areas. We still have these kind of tendencies in the world, living in this world. करेगा कुछ तो होगा, कहीं तो होगा, कुछ तो करेंगे. Nothing is going to happen. That's what Kabir explains here. यम के दूत बड़े मजबूत, यम से पड़ेगा झमेला. यम से पड़ा झमेला, उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला, जग दर्शन का मेला. Okay. Till I heard, I was talking about Chela singing this to the Guru, a devotee singing it to the master. This recently only I saw it. So I was looking at it. I was observing very carefully because it's modern spirituality. थोड़ा deeply देखता हूँ मैं because clarity थोड़ा कम होता है. And I was watching every moment and every word that they're saying and how's the reaction of people and everybody who's listening, who's singing, watching that carefully. Till यहाँ तक आया, no explanation. They're just singing. I don't know how many even got the meaning, but everybody is like shaking their heads and deep devotion. But the last paragraph was not sung, got cut off. And I was waiting for that. It didn't come. Only till here, Gana band ho gaya, bhajan band ho gaya, signed out. I said, why? This is not Kabir's full song. So the last para is something like, दास कबीर हर के गुण गावे, वह हर को पारण पावे. दास कबीर हर के गुण गावे. Kabira will sing praises of the Lord, and that is why he will very quickly, very soon, he will find the Lord. वह हर के पारण पावे. The last line says, गुरु की करनी गुरु जाएगा, चेले की करनी चेला. Keep missing last para. I couldn't understand why. Kabir song, part of reality. It just means Guru will go according to Guru's destiny, and the devotees and disciples will go according to their destiny. But उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला, जग दर्शन का मेला. Edited. दास कबीर हर के गुण गावे, बाहर को पारन पावे. गुरु की करनी गुरु जाएगा, चेले की करनी चेला. उड़ जाएगा हंस अकेला, जग दर्शन का मेला, जग दर्शन का मेला. Simple truths, not complicated, nothing, very simple. We must have not heard something like this before, you know? Because what we have heard is all conditioned. What is coming down from what we take so much pride in, you go say हमारे ऊपर से आ रहा है. We don't know how many generations it's coming. So every generation has tampered with something. हर generation ने अपना अपना modification किया कुछ तो कुछ. Like if you see the Vedas, fine, all fine. Step down, Upanishads, very subtle, slight modifications and subtle. Then from the Upanishad, when it stepped into Puranas, what is Puranas? All the stories and symbolism and the essence of the teachings like Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all everything. Durga Shapsati, everything you take. Where is all that coming from? All these Puranas are coming from Upanishads. Because Upanishad could not be understood properly, the Tattva, it was converted into storytelling so that you can understand now with story. Every Tattva is very, I always say this. Now, Bhagavad Gita. I love the Bhagavad Gita. We are proud of Bhagavad Gita. Gaye usi mein gaye. Oh, that it's gone in a different. But what is the tattva that Lord Krishna is trying to give there? Or what the divinity is trying to provide from there? What do we know? We know about Kurukshetra. We know about the war. We know what was given as a teaching or preaching in the middle of the war, and the valor of Arjuna, the divinity of Krishna. We don't see the divinity of Krishna. Whenever we go from this aspect, the worldly aspect, we see the pride of Krishna, we see the strength of Krishna, we see that he is the best. We attribute these qualities according to our own vasanas, our own reflection. But the divinity, we don't see the divinity in it, the purity in it. And what is the purity? What is Krishna? Krishna is the consciousness. Very difficult to understand this, because we have seen the images. That's what Sadguru Jagi Vasudevji was telling. I put one video today. Today I put where he is telling, if God comes in your meditation, ignore him. So somebody asked, what if Shiva comes? I said, then firstly you ignore. फिर तो पक्का ignore करो, he says. And then he explains why he said that. There's a deep meaning. He says all the thing that you say Shiva has come or Ma Durga has come, where is that coming from? He's saying it is coming from your calendar images. What is calendar image now? You will not find today calendars much like godly pictures. But बचपन में देखे होंगे ना आपने. In your childhood, you must have seen so many images everywhere of all gods, different gods. So he is pointing out to that childhood conditioning that has gone into your head. This is God, this God, this is that God. And from there, you have developed an affinity to that picture, that image. And all that you know is there's a God that I need to please. This God I need to please. I do this, I do that, and I please this God. उस चक्कर में you have been living the life. This is what he said. All your gods are coming from the calendar images, which is not what he's saying. That is not supposed to be that, because he says there is a limitation to the thinking, the intellectual stuff. And intellectual stuff, he says, he adds on saying that it is good for your worldly securities, for your worldly needs. All these, your mind, you can cook up anything, any stories, and live in that and create something. But he says it's for the world dimension. To step one step above the worldly dimension into the subtle realms, this doesn't work. For higher realms, this funda doesn't work. That is why many go to a certain level with all this calendar image and they remain stuck. They cannot go further. And they say something is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with you. Your conditions, you have to leave. These conditions, for to leave the condition, first you have to at least accept. And that is the difficult part. That is why most of the percentage remains untransformed. Because there is no acceptance. And without acceptance, there is no way out. You have to get rid of those conditions. All the images will have to convert into consciousness, the real tattva. All the gross, all the stulta should get into sukshmata. All the gross has to turn subtle. Then only there is something that you can hope for. Until that happens, is very difficult. If you see on this platform, I have been trying to tell you the same thing. All the stulta has to get into your sukshmata. All, whomever you think is physical, your guru, your god, your angels, your deity, your images, your idols, your whatever you feel, this is it. It is not it. There is something beyond it. So till you see this is it, this is it, your story is this is it, it won't go beyond it. But we are not able to leave that because conditioned. Calendar image and this form is no big different. The same stuff, it's the same conditioning. And today, when we catch on to any physicality of the guru also, or the deity that we are so fond of, it is coming from this calendar image stuff, conditioning. Same vasana, and same tendency. So now, today also, you will do the same thing. Anything you get, you will follow the same patterns because unconsciously, you're not even aware of it. And the worst thing is that you believe all this is true. You think this is only the truth. Why? Because I explained one video. ये मान्यता है, मानो. You have to go from मानो to जानो. मानो यानी बिलीफ सिस्टम. किसी ने कुछ बोला, मान लिया आपने. पूरा दुनिया ने कुछ बोल दिया, मान लिया. ये पूरा झुंड जो है मानने पर ही है. जानने वाले कौन लोग हैं? उसमें जो निकलते हैं, जो क्वेश्चन करते हैं चीज, they want to know now. And these people can actually challenge the system. They can challenge their own belief systems. They can challenge so many things that are rigid. चैलेंज मतलब वो नहीं कि मोर्चा ये कर दो, बट दे आर क्वेश्चनिंग. दे वांट लाइट टू बी पुट इनटू दैट. और ये हम लोगों में हिम्मत नहीं है, दम नहीं है हम लोगों में, बच्चों में है. यू शुड सी द वे द क्वेश्चंस द चिल्ड्रन आस्क. बड़े बड़े की हिम्मत नहीं होती है ऐसे, बिकॉज सरल है. दे हैव नॉट येट बीन कंडीशन, सो दे डोंट नो मोस्ट ऑफ थिंग. वी हैव बीन कंडीशन. गए काम से गाड़ी सब खटारा हो गया, वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट. तो एक दिन खटारा हो गया गाड़ी, ये सर सब तरह से आवाजें कर रही है, कहीं क्वीं कहीं क्वीं गाड़ी चल रही है. सब आवाजें किसकी हैं? वेयर इज द नॉइज कमिंग फ्रॉम दिस व्हीकल? इट इज कमिंग फ्रॉम द कंडीशनिंग. So many conditionings. Noisy vehicle, tired vehicle, good for nothing vehicle. And you go to the mechanic and say this, and finally he says, अब तो गए काम से पूरा, बहुत मुश्किल है अभी, हर एक रिपेयर, इससे अच्छा एक नया गाड़ी ले लो. And then you say, okay, I'll take a नया गाड़ी, you come back with a new body. That's all. पुराना गाड़ी आपने डिस्पोज कर दिया, नया गाड़ी, you'll have to take another birth. Every lifetime this only happens. We wait for all the queen till that it goes to that extent, and then we move around making the noise of that. What is this vehicle moving around making the noise, so much noise about, so much that is pride about? ये आवाज है उसकी, this conditioned, it moves around with all this noise, and it thinks when the noise is happening and it's moving around and people are turning and back and looking what it feels more proud. Oh, my noise is making, giving me attention. People are alert and awakened due to the no. So with noise you cannot go. That is why you see noisy people will need noisy stuff only. Their practices are very noisy. They can't sit in silence. Those who have unconditioned themselves can sit for hours in silence without doing anything. Without, you will not see any activity also in that. जिंदा है कि मरे वो भी पता नहीं चलेगा. Me and Kitki were yesterday going into Pyramid Valley, and we were going approaching the pyramid, and outside there was some structure kind of thing, and Kitki said, "What is that new? There's such a beautiful idol they have made." I looked at it. Yes, it looks like an idol. Nice. But then I looked. Idol ke samne somebody sitting like this in Padmasan and meditating. It was not there. That structure was not there before. So I thought they must have built up. So then I said, no, no, I don't. It's not that. She said, look at it. It was very still and a full black idol because there were many black idols. The Buddha's black idol is there. So there was another black idol since. So, but what I noticed was in front of that idol there was a traveling bag. So, so I guess that it must be somebody who has just come and is meditating there. I told her I don't think so. It's that. No, no, no. It is sir, sir. It is. I know. It's there. And by the time we reached little more closer, that person got up. Such dead silence, no activity. You will not even come to know it is dead. नया जिंदा है या मरे हैं. आवाज नहीं है. Noisy vehicles will make more noise. ढिंडोरा पीटना पड़ता है, आवाजें करनी पड़ती हैं, हरकतें भी आवाज वाली होती हैं. You have to shout, you have to yell, and so much of noise in that activity, and so much of movement, so much of stuff that you got to do with that stuff. The doing is very, very strong. Too much of doing. And where does the doing come from? Doership. Who's the doer? The ego. The one that believes I am the doer. I have to do this for myself. Noisy vehicles. Too noisy. And so much of noise you can't stop that. So if noise is going on and somebody is huffing and panting inside and say, oh my god, this is not working, I'm getting so tired. Well, sit for a while at least. Sit for what? Sit for a while. Sit for the while. Give up that doing. Sit for one moment. I can't hear you. How can you hear? It's a noisy vehicle. अंदर भी आवाज roaring and rumbling and thundering is going on. Outside also your activities also are that only. Where are you going to hear? You can't hear. For hearing you need to settle down. You got to still. You need to be silent. Then only you will hear. For such people, Dakshinamurti is only a concept. You see, the doers will never talk about Dakshinamurti. They will talk of all the ugra forms, all that, the doer forms they will show because that is what their reflection personality. They cannot be a fans of Dakshinamurti because Dakshinamurti does nothing. And how is his Gyan also given? It's very in silence, like what Ramana used to do. In silence. Stillness. That tattva will not appeal to us. You see what I'm telling, you reflect and see, you will come to know. You don't have to believe whatever I'm telling. Because many say what I talk is nonsense. They feel it's nonsense because I'm challenging their nonsense. You don't have to just take it for granted because that's another conditioning. कोई तो बोल लिया, मानो मत, मैं जो बोल रहा हूँ मानो मत, इसको जानो, परखो. Get into it, introspect and see what I'm telling. And you don't have to wait till tomorrow. Do it right now while I'm speaking. You'll get a clear idea of what I'm saying. These are our conditionings. Now we want to unclutter, we want to uncondition, but we don't want to give up all the old rigid patterns and systems and tendencies. फिर कुछ नहीं हो सकता. That's how I started today's session with. कुछ तो होने के लिए पहले आपको अवेयर होना पड़ता है कि क्या गड़बड़ चल रही है. Is the vehicle really making noise? Is the vehicle noisy vehicle even going somewhere? Or is it taking rounds there and उधर ही घूम रहा हो? And every time more noise only is adding into it. Or if I stop my vehicle, this is a simple common sense. Somebody is driving a noisy vehicle. Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. As I stop the vehicle first, I can't hear you. Then even if you go and shout into their ears, listen to what I'm saying. Become silent for some time. They'll say, how to make this vehicle silent? I have to yell and shout. Common sense. Hit the brakes. Stop the vehicle for some time. So hard. They don't even know how to stop the noise. Automatic, robotic it's going on. So difficult that somebody has to tell for the noise to stop, bring it to a halt, bring it to a stillness. Somebody has to tell that also. उसलिए बोला मैं बच्चों को बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है. They will understand. If they are riding a bicycle which is noisy, there's too much of noise, beta. They will stop the vehicle because they know common sense. If they stop the vehicle, the noise will stop. But we are so conditioned, we'll say, I'm helpless. What to do? I don't know. And then there will be a lot of excuses. Oh, if I stop, I'm not going to get anywhere. Look at it. Everybody's running. Look at my partner. Look at my person. Look at this person. Look at that person. We were all in one team. We all have been doing this same rat race together. They are going with their noisy vehicles. So I can't stop. If I stop, they will go ahead. Where is ahead? I'm talking about circles. Where is ahead in circle? All are going in the round only. I feel that is ahead. Big circle. See, in the big circle, if you're moving, you will not even know whether it's a circle or what. I think it's going. It's en route. And isn't that stupidity if you're in that track and if you're saying, no, 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 if I stop, they will all go ahead. Where are they going to go ahead? In fact, after some time, if you stop, you will see that they are behind you. They will take a round and come behind you. How are they going? How are they in front? By stilling down, you have come front. And if you allow, they will cross by you. They were till now back, and when they cross you, they will have this feeling that we are going ahead. All that you need to do is use your common sense. Say, oh, all the best, go. Then they will go one more round, and soon you'll find they are behind. Wait there. Again, another. Oh, we are going around. This is the vicious cycle where we get caught up, and this leads into punarabhi janmam, punarabhi maranam. Same thing, not out of that cycle only. So until we realize this, it's very, very difficult. The direct path or something like that. Direct path, I don't mean you avoid your stuff. You do whatever you have to do, be the doer and all that, but while you're doing, become aware. What I'm telling is put awareness into it, become conscious of what are you doing, why are you doing certain things, why are you complicating things, why you have to do everything and complicate your stuff so much when even there is simplicity. Or else Totapuri has to come to break the belief with sword. Yeah. We want Totapuris only. Because we are unable. Ramakrishna was different. He knew that he needs Totapuri. Means he needs a guru to break that. Now tell me one common sense. Again, I'm asking you. Bhagwan Ramakrishna was there, and Bhagwan Totapuri, the same facets. He came, he helped Ramakrishna break that sword. When Ramakrishna was not breaking, he became strict, he became rigid, he even threatened that I'll leave and go. And what did Totapuri say? I had mentioned this. The Guru said, if you are stuck with this nonsense, let me go. I don't have time for all this. And see the conditioning so strong. Anyways, after that also, the conditioning he broke. He gave everything. Totapuriji told him how to take the sword and break it and all. And when he did that, and when he attained that experience of oneness, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and Totapuri's work was done. Read, read anywhere and tell me what happened after that. Did Totapuriji stay with Ramakrishna? Or did Ramakrishna ji stay with Totapuriji? Saying that, no, I won't leave your leg. You are my guru now. Totapuri is harsh guru, he'll say. Because there only he said, get done with your nonsense or I'm leaving. So he wouldn't have tolerated this. Because the work is done. Broken your belief, broken your systems, given you gyan of it, bodh ho gaya, the work is done. What is the need of Tatapuri after that? And if you read the history, you will see that Tatapuri walked away after that, after doing pranams to Ramakrishna. And Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also did not say, no, 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 I am addicted to you. Stay here, please. I am conditioned to my own belief systems. You have broken my one belief, but wait, I am going to create more belief systems. I still have more. You only I need to break it. That's tamoguna, lethargy. We are like that. You look around, you'll see like that. We want somebody, some savior from outside. And some will even proudly say, I've heard this conversation, हमको चाहिए यार कोई तो डंडा मारने वाला पीछे से. So they say this. These people cannot talk about liberation and all that. ये चलती का नाम गाड़ी है spirituality में. Nothing is going to happen there. If you are going to, this is not a guru shishya relationship. This is hiring. You are hired somebody. आपके पास धन होगा बहुत, पैसा बहुत होगा, होल्ड बहुत होगा, पावर होगा, स्टेटस होगा, जिसके जरिए आप किसी की सर्विसेज ले रहे हो. I've seen this also. The more ponchevo prominent you are, the more status you have, the more power and money you have, the more hak you have over masters. By the tendency that money can buy anything, because in the world we have been doing that. We have been buying everything. And we believe this kind of tattva also we can buy. You might buy the physical body, you will never get the both. You can never buy the consciousness. Is that going to happen? Both. The consciousness is everything. If you get connected to the consciousness, anything can be done. Eklavya did not have to buy his guru. He had nothing to do with the physicality. What are these stories? These are live examples of all these tattvas. Arjuna had the privilege to be with the guru, and the guru had a certain liking towards Arjuna. The qualities, not that he did not have towards Ekalavya, but vimash the, majboor the, in some way. Some way, you go and read the history and find out what is it. Some way, that is not important here. But I'm trying to tell that did not make any difference to Ekalavya. What did he do? He created a clay image of his guru Dronacharya, and he practiced his archery. Whatever he wanted, he looked at that as not a physical requirement. He did not say that I want Totapuri ji here to break my stuff and enlighten me. He has done it already once, and if he has opened my spiritual life, now is my practice. And what did he do? He practiced. He did not say that you pass some power to me. Did he say that? Did Eklavya say to the Guru that you have too much of power, you pass on some power to me so I can do it? He attracted the grace and power because he knew the both. He knew the consciousness. He knew that the Guru Tattva, very clearly he knew the Tattva. The Guru Tattva is beyond that physicality. And to remind him of that physicality, he made the stone image, which is all that we do in today's world. We have images of our Gurus. The Guru Paduka is there. These are all reminders of that Guru Tattva. Through that, you connect to the consciousness of because the consciousness of anybody, the true consciousness, pure consciousness of everybody, the soul, the self of anybody is pure, it's purest. That is why we catch on to the consciousness. The deities that you're linked to, the gods that you're so fond of and fans of, they have attributes. If you are a ferocious guy, you want power and you want to slay everybody and be there, you can look at Shiva in a different form. You look at him as a very ferocious person, full of power. Shiva or Ma Durga as power, Ma Kali as power. That is why they are known for power. You look at all the vidyas that are done in tamasic vidyas, in Tantra, Bali Wali jo chadhate hain. You see, all the people of power will be there. People wanting power, victory. They will do all those activities. Why? It's a reflection of that. For power, you are a powerful person, you need power. So you're doing that. That's what I said. If you get connected to the attribute, to the picture, you walk into anybody's room and just look into the pictures they have, it will represent what they are inside. If you see a goddess which is fierce, know that that person's attributes are like that, because that fierceness gives them that courage, that strength, or something, some motivation to go. And in some people's house, you enter, you will see a Buddha, peaceful face. I'm not saying this is bad or this is good or this is big or that is small. Nothing like that. Attributes. What I'm trying to say, the physicality has attributes, it has guna. You don't understand that. Consciousness does not have guna. All physicalities will have gunas. Nobody can deny that. Physicalities will always have gunas. The same Shiva. That is fear. You give it different names. You say there are so many forms and so many names of Shakti. There is a Saumya Roop also. There is a Ugra Roop also. If you are a Saumya person, you will be connected to the Saumya. If you are a Ugra person, you will be connected to the Ugra. As simple as that. Funda is very simple. You can attain it through the Ugrata also and the Saumyata also. Both are attainable. My Guru, when he was doing the fierce practices on the Dash Mahavidya, and one of that, when he was doing the Baglamukhi sadhana, he refused to believe that it's a fierce form. See the beauty. Everybody, they choose a certain facet because of their attributes. And here he is looking at that fierce attribute and saying that he wants to experience the Samya Rup, not the Ugra Rup. He refused to take in the Ugra fierce form, though it is a fierce power. And he has mentioned this many times. Just his outlook changed even the most fiercest form into Samyata, like that of a tender mother. What does this reflect? What does this example reflect? It reflects that it's all about consciousness, how you consciously look at things with your attributes. That is why I'm not very fond of these pictures. However divine you might call it, it's all coming from one source only, and it's coming from a very neutral source, attributeless source. Nirguna, Nirakara, no guna, no attribute. It is all coming from that source. It takes these forms, multiple forms, depending on what you are connecting to. You connect to a certain form that is there. Everything is there in this universe. Whatever you want, that form you will connect to. It's available. Nobody will deny you. So don't feel too much pride when you have fiercest form. The fierce having the fiercest form doesn't mean that you're the greatest or everything. It doesn't work that way. So there's nothing to boast about the fiercest forms. I can show you examples of how even the most subtlest form people have attained. Realize, take the Buddhist for example. Maximum number of enlightened beings you'll see in Buddhism. See the Tirthankars, Jain, and if you see, observe both these, Buddhism and Jainism, there is no God only in that. Now what? There is no God only. Their teachings doesn't revolve around any God, but it revolves around the godliness of the human being. Their Tirthankars were human beings, but godly, enlightened beings. They follow the Tirthankars. Buddhism follows the Buddha, not God. Why? He has reached that state of purity and tranquility. Look at his face, you'll come to know what Ugrata is there in that. But haven't people attained self realization? Haven't people attained mukti through them? Then the whole concept of your boasting about these things is gone failure. It doesn't work. That is your belief system, what you talk. Whatever you say is your own belief system, because then we want to prove this is good and this is only good. See, it might be good for me, my taste. Fierce form might be good for me, Soumya form might be good for me, but that doesn't mean it is good for everybody. The problem is when I say fierce form is good for me, now fierce form is good for you also. It will not appeal. You'll see many people can't connect also with that. Many, I'm telling. I've met so many people. I keep meeting. से मन ही नहीं करता ये करने का ऐसा. Then what? You want to just be simple. What do you want? I just want to be simple, close my eyes and meditate, and I want to go deep within. I don't want all this too much of Allahu. I want a simple life, normal life. I want a peaceful life where I can simply concentrate on my life and enjoy my life, relish my life, be free, mukta. I don't want to get into all so much of complication. They themselves have told me. And even if you don't tell, I can see it's on your face. See, when I travel, when I make videos, when I put any post in, whenever, including you, you'll just observe this and see. Okay, I'm telling you as an experiment. Observe this and see. Of course, you must be liking something of my posts or my live, or something must be there. Some tattva is there, which is bringing you back here and trying to see. Now, if you observe very carefully, what you'll see is freedom. You'll see this guy in front of you. You'll see freedom. He is able to speak what he wants. He is able to do what he wants, and you can see him freaking out, doing whenever there is no agenda. Whenever man kiya, he does it. Isn't that just observe and see? You might say it is the gyan and or something that is. It's not that. There is a need that, because whenever I do something, I see people doing that. If I'm traveling, I see people traveling. If I go to certain places, I see people going there. Whatever I do, I see people doing that. That is why I've said, don't try to copy. That's not going to take. But that aside, I'm telling you, the urge what is coming is the freedom that you see. You see the freedom in somebody. You see the it's reflecting on the face, in the life, in however they live life. It's so free, it's so spontaneous, and so much no clutches in that. जो मन आया करो, मर्जी से करो और अच्छे से करो, खुश रहो और खुशियां फैलाओ. It's you'll see all those things in that. That is the tattva that pulls you. And you know why it pulls you? Because somewhere in your heart you want to be that. Somewhere in your heart you want to be free. Somewhere in your heart you want to that tranquility, or that cheerfulness, or that thing of living life fully. Because these are all those examples when you look at, and you want to have that. But I'm telling you, it's not in that action. There you'll fail. If I'm traveling and if you try to travel, you'll fail. I've seen many people happening before. When shifting into awareness started, it was a big craze at that time, and I was very sure this is all going to come down. Because starting those, when you see something new, it's all new. And I knew this very clearly. I knew it would take months and years for it to settle where the actual essence will come. And that is why I never bothered who came, who went. Many came, many went. I was happy if they came. I was happy if they went. No questions asked. Why? Because when they see something, I know why they what they are seeing. But when they try to copy, there's a problem. Copy means what? Why the copying is happening? Because you think it is the physicality of that person that is doing that, gross, that person, that personality is doing something that is. It is not the personality. It is not the. It is that state of awareness that is doing it. So if you really want to get there, connect to that state of awareness within you. Develop that awareness within you, and then whatever is your life pattern, whatever you have come here to do, your life purpose, you will see that you are doing that in the same spirit, because now you're aware being, an awakened being. You'll see that happening. I don't say if you travel it's not going to happen, but I see those who travel and those who are able to enjoy that, they are people who understand the consciousness of what I'm saying, not just the physicality. In the start there were a lot of people who did everything, oh, you've been there, I want to go there, I want to do that, I want to be with the avadutas. In the start there was a lot of craze, and many people, I think almost a dozen, in just a couple of months they started moving around here. And because they thought this state what they are seeing here, that somebody is enjoying, I can get that state by being with avadutas. And that's my life journey. But not necessarily it's going to happen exactly that way. Only if you see the stulta, the physicality, you'll try to do that. But if you see what I'm telling or try to teach or preach or share or whatever you call that, if you catch that consciousness, that tattva, you'll get everything very easily. It's not in the personality. Don't get caught up in that. No personality will give you anything. Nobody's. Even your so-called gods that you're so big fans of. कितने भी आप images लगा लो, nothing is going to happen. Even if you paste multiple gurus, don't think if you have 10 gurus, all the 10 you are going to have blessings. It doesn't matter. It's irrespective of all that. And it doesn't even matter if you don't even have one photo of one guru also. It has nothing to do with that. It is all about how much you are connected to the tattvas. So the gods also that you have. Rethink about all these things. It's not that in the altar, if you have 10 gods, you have 10 different powers coming. It's your belief system. And I'm telling you, even if that power is coming, that belief system is creating that. It's not the idols. understand the science of the mind. Most of the time, yes, belief also works, faith works. There is something called faith healing also. Faith works, but where does faith come from? Is it coming from outside? No. Faith is a quality of your inner being. Faith is coming from yourself inside. So that faith is creating that magic. It's nothing outside. Jesus revealed this very clearly. Bhagwan Nityananda used to stand on the trees, and when somebody came, I have this sickness, please heal me. He used to pluck the leaves and throw it, eat this. They ate and they were fine, healed. Soon the word spread. Nityananda is a moving person. He moved on to different place. They came to know that Nityananda did this, and for their ailment, this leaf. So all plucked the leaves and ate the leaves. Nothing happened. It's not in the leaf. It is in the sankalpa of that master. His sankalpa. He's just saying also, eat this, and you'll do. That's enough. That wish is enough. Is that consciousness that did that work through the leaves? It is nothing in the leaf. So if you catch the tree and the leaf, you're not going to get anything. This is why Jesus healed somebody. And just as he was healed, Jesus said, go, you're healed. And he said, but tell this to no one. And the person was healed. He was amazed. But then the instruction came after that. You're healed. Good. But don't tell anyone. Why? Because Jesus knew Jesus had not healed him. His faith, his immense faith had healed him. So he said, don't go and tell anybody. Because if you go and tell anybody, they might put poison into it. Even if they say, oh, Jesus healed me. And if somebody says, how can he heal? He is faking. He is not a genuine person. Somebody like that. And you say, and this person's head gets pinned. That healing will reverse itself. By the mind is very powerful. And Jesus knows the mind. So he said, you are healed. But indirectly he was telling your faith, and not indirectly, he has said, thy faith has healed thou. Your faith has healed you. But tell no one. So what is it in this case? Consciousness has done it, not the personality. Dronacharya's consciousness helped Eklavya, not the personality, not the physical presence, neither the idol or the image. Idol was just a reminder to him to connect to that tattva. But the physicalities can have attributes. And because it has guna, there is no guarantee. Dronacharya had guna, lower guna. That is why he asked for the thumb of Ekalavya. Simple as that. Consciousness cannot do that. Physicality can do that. Individuality can do that. So once you get this idea of the science, simple science behind it, it will be very easy to uncondition yourself. And only once you begin this unconditioning, the rest you don't have to worry about. If you just drop all these things, you'll suddenly see space in your life. Most of the people that I always meet, by in my travel or in my consultations or in these interactions, are people who are seeking freedom, who are simply wanting to be with themselves. They just want to be with themselves. They want to enjoy their own presence. And from there, they know that the peace will come, tranquility will come, the happiness, the joy, and whatever they seek in this life will come. It is there in them, they know. But their biggest complaint is, I can't be with myself. Their biggest complaint is, I can't be with myself. And their biggest excuse is all the excuses that they give. I have this work, I have that, I have all these kind of distractions. Who's creating all this mess? Me, myself. So I won't tell anybody, do this to get peace, because I know you can't do it, because you're filled with all these beliefs and conditionings. All that I tell is break those. That is why I say listen to Osho. The stronger ego we have, the more we must listen to Osho, because ego is nothing but that rigidity to pretend and feel that all is well, everything is fine. I don't want to touch these areas, but I want to evolve. It will not happen. I have to shed this. So I need somebody like Master Totapuri. उस जमाने में मास्टर तोतापुरी, इस जमाने में there are people like Osho. Why Osho? Because Osho is very crude. Not all masters can speak like him, because he goes to those areas which nobody has even dared to do. Why has he done that? To break. Because to break means what? You need strength, you need force. You can't break something with your finger. You need a hammer for that. So people like Osho, why I say follow, not that he will give you moksha, but he will uncondition you like hell. But sit with him or listen to him in swikriti, in acceptance, in acknowledgement that. And only serious seekers who say, I want to uncondition myself, and then they listen, they will find themselves unconditioning themselves very quickly. Why? Because that readiness is there, that readiness, the willingness. That is what I said in today's post. To learn spirituality or to evolve, you don't need rich pockets. You don't need pockets full of money that you can throw and buy your peace, or you throw money and buy self-realization. It doesn't work that way. I'm amazed people get fooled in that. It doesn't work that way. You need fullness of acceptance. The willingness is more important than your heavy pockets. Where there is no willingness, there will be compromise with heavy pockets. Those with heavy pockets who throw money at everything are the people who are not willing. Check it out. Check it out. In those zones where there is easy throwing of money, there is no transformation. You check it out. Just scan and see. All the people who are ready to throw anything to get something, especially peace of mind, especially getting tranquility, the inner cheerfulness, the inner happiness, the freedom, the liberation, the self realization, all these things who are searching with money, you check it out. They will never have it. Because that's an excuse, that's a compromise that they do. They think that in the vasana, in the worldly tendencies, if I want something, I can pay money and get it like anything. Easily I can get it. So that same tendency is used here, which doesn't work here. I told you, gross world, it's a different law. Subtle world is different law. In the gross world, our mind and egos can work. But in the subtle world, divine will works. Free will doesn't work. So once you understand this, would you bang your head again and again in the same place, hoping that something will break? Nothing apart from your head, nothing is going to break. If you bang your head on the God's door, sometimes there is so rigidity that I will bang my head till I die here. Do it and see what will happen. Because the ego is promoting that, and the divinity is opposite of that. Anything that looks at your ego and blesses you has to be something with attributes, because that is getting pleased or offended by what you do. That is something or someone with attributes. That's certainly not the highest. These are indications. I've seen sometimes people say, "Oh, so what? If I'm having trouble, it's God's problem. I don't care. I don't care. It's your loss, some people say. I have nothing to lose. And I'll be in pain and suffering and misery and be crying, depressed. Everything will be there. But internally, I'll say it's your loss. Why? Because you have lost a devotee. मेरा क्या जाता है? मेरा कुछ नहीं जाता. आपका गया. You are going to lose me. You see the heights of that meanness. These are very simple things, but very deep and very powerful impact they have on our life. They do not allow us to proceed further. Simple. Life is very simple. Very, very simple. I'm telling you, spirituality is the simple. You just become a child and you see what will happen. No wonder Jesus told that become only the children can attend can enter the kingdom of God. No wonder he said that. And that is why you see Jesus' photo all surrounded always with children, not with people, children. Children will get with adults will get exhausted. Children will never. You'll feel more energetic and more that energy. More you'll feel more pure. I often say that if you want to feel pure, if you want to feel relaxed and energetic, be in the vicinity of children and see what happens. What they can give, no adult can give you. However, कितना भी उसने कहाँ भी तीर मारा हो, however great that human being might be, adult might be, however successful, however filthy rich that person is, or however enlightened that person is, compared to a child, nothing. Because even an enlightened person hides a lot of things. There is too much to hide in enlightened beings also. Children have nothing to hide. They will just blurt it out. Because even spiritually high pedestal पे अगर for example why take anybody, I'll take mine only. If I am sitting on a high pedestal, I will still be hiding something. I cannot be fully transparent. That's the attribute of the personality. Till the personality is there, till the speaker is there, till the doer is there, there will be attributes. Take this very clearly, whoever it is. And the person who has reached there will be silent, attributeless. They will be actionless. Everything will stop. You look at avadhutas, rooted in one place. I met my very good friend, a Westerner from US. Both couples, beautiful couples. I didn't know they have been following shifting into awareness for a long time. Sometimes I used to be just aware they're there, here and there, but I didn't know until I met them in Tiruvannamalai. And they told me the profoundness. When they told me, I was okay, really? And they were very kind enough to, and very humble enough. First of all, they were humble. Otherwise, why would somebody see? They were of the stature that here they have been with such great beings, husband and wife. Ram Brown was there, and Bhakti was there. Bhakti, whose real name is Linda. Both are from the US area and deeply spiritual. And he never wanted to marry. He came to India long back, had practiced yoga. And he was telling me, he was sharing this with me, that I did everything. I was all with these great beings, great masters. Pundi Swami was one of the greatest avdutas that if you in Google you'll find out. His samadhi is around 35 kilometers away from Tiruvannamalai. I haven't been there. But when I heard they were touched by Pundi Swami, that's the first time I asked, where is his samadhi? And they said, it's only 30. You must go there. They said, you must go there. I said, yes, I will go there. Surely I'll go there. I'll be going there. Because I know who he was. And he explained me, I don't want to get into details. He explained to me what happened to him. And he was even unconscious for a couple of hours after Pundi Swami looked into his eyes. And a certain transfer happened and all that. And they have had that journey, both of them. One of them was with Nisargadatta Maharaj and Punji Swamiji, Punjiji, Guru of Muji Baba, and Punjiji was a disciple of Ramana himself. They were there with them. She was there. She was blessed by Anandamayi Ma through a Diksha, lived with them. Such beings. I felt so blessed to be in their company. Whatever attracted that. And for the past couple of months, this plan was going on. We need to meet, we need to meet. I was busy with something, they were busy with something, and it never happened. And both were of that thing like, okay, whenever the time is right, whenever Arunachala feels, let that happen. And it happened on Mahashivratri. We met there and we had deeply talks, and we shared each other's things. And he is a very humble being. Very, very humble. Very humble. So humble that you are sitting down. We all sat down then. No, not that way. Nobody is upar niche, nothing like that. Very humble. I was touched by what they said. So he said he had been through all these processes for years. And they shared that. The platform helped in so many, especially Bhakti. Linda was saying that she very regularly follows it because it's helping somewhere, the practices. I have a couple of other foreigners there, friends, who don't want to come into the limelight, so I've never told anything about them. We meet often, but they are completely out of limelight. They don't, and I respect their. So they have told me how profound it is. They have found how these simple aspects of awareness is nothing but a breakdown of what Ramana's teachings are. Because Ramana's teaching, if you directly jump into it, it might overwhelm you suddenly. Some things cannot be understood also. But these are nothing but two steps before. That's what I'm trying to teach here. And I know it's a break of that. Only I knew it. Because I knew, because that's my practice. That's what I go and practice there, Ramana Tattva. But I found these practices helping me get very easily there, and that's what I began sharing. And only I knew of it until somebody told me. This. It's a breakup of this. So I knew I'm on the right track. I knew the things are going right because I was knowing this. Without telling, somebody told me this, so I knew it's working that way. And what is all this tattva about? It's all about breaking down. There's no more accumulation, no more new accumulation of new knowledge, no more new accumulation of any more identities, no more accumulation of methods and techniques and practice and all that. So there is no practice that I talk about here. I simply talk about living in awareness. And today I have not talked anything about awareness, if you have observed. I didn't talk anything about it. I'm only talking today about the barriers, the obstacles that cause you trouble to enter into awareness. So, if you just work on today what we have talked about, that awareness thing will be so easy to practice. You don't have to actually do anything. Just by undoing what we have learned today, you will be able to just enter into those states very easily. Then it becomes easier. Then it very much, and you don't have to run anywhere. Absolutely no. Today I was talking to another beautiful soul from the European side in a personal consultation. And she also is in that dilemma because she has a child. And somewhere she knew she has a child, she has a family, she has to take care of her needs, finances, whatever, basics. But she feels while she's doing that, all this, she's compromising on her spiritual journey. She feels that, and her inner being confirms this. How? Because she's not able to be still. There is restlessness. Not that there is a lack, there is everything that she wants around relationships, because she's married. So She has that relationship, good relationship. She has a good relation with a child, because that's all that the person wants, settled life. And she doesn't have to slog for money or something like that. That also is very well taken care of. There is security, all those things are there, but still there is restlessness. So she was seeking for a job. And I was very curious that if you have everything, why are you seeking a job? And he said, no, I need a job. The whole conversation began with that. I need a job. I said, why? I said, because I'm very passionate about something. I know I have to work and I feel there's whatever it is. But I knew it's not in the job. Job to ek bahana tha. Job is an outlet. The person is searching for a job so that that gap can be fulfilled. One more distraction to life. Because the more you are distracted, you keep yourself busy. The whole world, even spiritual world, teaches you empty mind, devil's workshop. So keep doing something. Doing is distraction. You will never attend to the problem. In doing, you will only keep on adding new things into your head, into your being. You cannot destroy anything. You cannot unwind, because now you are finding an outlet that will keep you busy. Why busy? Because now you believe if you're busy, you need not attend to that which needs your attention immediately. There is something inside calling for an attention, that is yelling, that is pleading, that is begging of you your attention. But you want to voice silence that voice by distracting yourself further and maybe keeping yourself busy. For that, a job is needed to keep yourself busy. It was very clear, because I said there's no problem about finances. Then why a job? Then the excuses are passion or this and that, what many meanings. But we go on the roots. After some while, when the whole distraction was going on somewhere, I just came to the point. When I started talking about being with the self and all those things, and suddenly that said, yes, this is what I want. I said, I know that's what you want. But can you see the distraction? Suddenly, from the outer periphery of I want this job for this, it straight came. I want tranquility. I want to spend time with myself. I am unable to give time to myself. I am on the bottom list of my priority list. I am there for everything and everyone around, but I am not there for myself. I'm absent for myself. And that is the soul crying for attention. And now, when I cannot give attention because I'm prioritized everything outside, now when the soul is crying, I don't want to look there, because I know when I look down there, there are so many things to sort out and it's a mess inside. So I add on one more distraction. I want a job. Let me keep myself busy so that I don't look here. Can you see the catches of the mind? This is unconditioning. This is what awareness can penetrate deep into and decondition you. But it was very easy for me to work with her because there was openness. Very clear, open honesty was there. Right from one. Every sentence had honesty. One thing told, yes, you're right. I get that, I get that. And then she was adding more. Here are some more points. If you can help me with this. She was ready. Whereas in other cases, like, I beg to differ. You say that, I got it, but I beg to differ at one. I don't think, see, there is no clarity. I don't think it is that way. I think it is that way. Your thinking only has gone so deep in that. Your thoughts, your thinking, and the feeling that you are right. See, if you feel what you're doing is right, then you should have had the conclusions what you're seeking. You don't have the conclusion. That means it's not working. If it's not working, then you should have at least the understanding that this is not working, there is something else. So acknowledgement is there. But that rigidity of not wanting to lose that conditioning is what translates into this. I beg to differ. I don't agree with that. You don't agree. Sometimes I have to tell people on the face, look, 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 look. 1 second, 1 second. Hold on. Because sometimes they go, no, 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 that's there. I don't agree with this. Everything else, this one I don't. I tell them, do I know you personally? I don't even know who you are. Why should I be hell bent into convincing you into something? It's your life. Why should I sit here and convince you that you are wrong or something? What interest do I have to judge you? I have no interest. You came for a purpose, and it's my dharma to show you the right thing. That's my, and you're paying me for that. So allow me to say that to you. I have no personal grudges against you. And then it strikes to them, yeah, what, this guy has nothing to do with me. Why would you do that? Then sometimes it simmers down and they say, okay, okay, put your thing across. So what are these? These are those rigid conditioning. I want to get rid of them, but I'll not leave. So work on these aspects. Whenever we are sitting here for any satsang, any kind of such life, reflect all the time where you need to and relax a bit. Let go of it. What are you going to lose? Anyhow, one day you're going to lose all these things. Everything you're going to lose. So why not lose all the unwanted things first and become empty? It is to your advantage only. Because when death approaches, if you're too filled up, it's too messy. Too messy. So by unwinding, you are doing yourself a favor. You're making things better for you. Not just about death, I'm saying. Even while alive, you'll have freedom, because freedom comes when you remove the clutter. To remove the clutter, work on these aspects. Work means what? You don't have to do anything here. Just use these awareness practices, become aware of it, and be crudely honest. Support your life by being crudely honest. Don't cling on to things. Don't have fear of losing people around you. Don't have fear of losing systems. Don't have fear of losing anything. Your own wisdom also, it might be your own medals, it might be your titles, your awards, your recognition, your personalities. Don't be. When the time comes, when it is dissolving, allow it to dissolve. Allow it to dissolve. Like I'm telling you, there's wonders waiting on the other side if you allow it to dissolve. Now you're not allowing it to dissolve because you feel this is your prized possession and this is going to gift you something. It has not gifted you till date. How do you think it's going to gift you later? What can trash give? Trash can only give you stink. So when you empty the trash, you have enough space for fragrance. You have enough space to plant new flowers which can blossom. But don't ever be under the misunderstanding that until you clear the trash, the garbage, you can plant flowers in that. You cannot plant flowers in that trash. Even if you manage to plant, they will die sooner or later and they're not going to give you fragrance because the stink will overpower the fragrance. What use is that? That kind of a garden, dirty garden. So all that you need to do in spirituality, if you really want to evolve, is just become aware of these patterns, which is no more serving your purpose, and drop one by one. Everything, including the gods, that your favorite gods, because those favoritism only is blocking your grace. If you just meditate on yourself as Shiva, it's very difficult to meditate you as some form. You see, I've tried it. When I'm sitting here, I'm a personality, Jake. And if I imagine myself to be Shiva, my mind is not going to immediately allow it. Because the Jake personality might be too strong. It will reject it. But if I just become aware of my being, my presence. Presence is abstract without the personality. Whatever the personality, I'm not putting attention on it. I'm just seeing the presence that is dwelling in this personality. And I told you many times how to become aware of that presence. By knowing, by becoming aware, who's the one who's staring through these two eyes? Who's the one who's listening in this body? Where am I in this body? I move around everywhere, turn my attention into every part of the body. I move my consciousness every part of the body. I become aware of the knees, the feet, the heart, the kidneys, the pancreas. Everywhere, wherever I go, I can I can feel a presence. That presence is you. So if you begin more living in that presence, feeling you as the presence and not the gross XYZ that you have begun uncluttering. When you come into that state of realizing you as a presence, it's not very difficult to realize you as that Nirgun Nirakara. Because this presence, you'll be able to really connect to that Nirguna. Because once you know your presence, how the presence feel like, you know now on the vast outsideness also there is a presence. The presence of God that you say is everywhere. We know that Funda, right? The Shiva is everywhere. In every plant, in the gutters he is there, in the fresh water is there, in the holy water is there, in your home he is there, under your home is there, above your home is there, in your body is there, outside your body is there. So if you bring that kind of a bodha, that this presence is everywhere around me, when can you do that? Once when you start developing your own presence, when you start feeling and living your own presence. So when you know your own presence and you know how it feels, like, oh, this is how my presence feels. Now it's not difficult to feel the presence of God. Similar presence is of that Nirguna Nirakara. And you just shift that presence outside and feel God's presence. It will be very easy to feel that God's presence. So in the path of this non-duality, non-dual awareness is what is the right word. One is the gross awareness. I'm aware of my body. Now I'm talking about non-dual awareness. One is awareness of within you as a presence, and then you feel the presence outside as God's presence. The outside and inside, if you start moving in and out, my presence at some time, God's presence at one time, my presence at one time, God's presence sometime. Suddenly it will start clicking that there's no difference. And that time, if you just even bring this feeling of, Paramatman and Atman, Paramatman and Atman, the God's consciousness and my individual consciousness, if you keep shifting that, you will see suddenly it's one. This is reaching the source. This presence, which I call, is the divine consciousness, what I call. From that comes the forms. You are going to the source. You're not still in the form. So if you see which is more superior, you will come to know the most subtle, Nirguna, Nirakara, which doesn't have any attribute. That is the most superior. And that is what we are talking when we say we are returning to the source. Source means that. Source doesn't mean the forms. Source doesn't mean that calendar images. You're going to get into that. Vileen hona. Merging with the consciousness. Who can merge with the consciousness? Your body can merge with the consciousness. Do you think? Your consciousness can merge with the higher consciousness. And when it merges means what? When the rivers meet the ocean, what happens? You cannot separate the river and the ocean. That's called merging. So that is exactly what happens when you say, I am merged with the Supreme Consciousness. This is Tattva Bodh. This is Atma Bodh. Rest all is after that. One step down, one step down, one step down. The more grosser you become, the more lower you come. If you are very fond of your guides, your higher guides, Then you have come too down in the hierarchy level, the supreme consciousness. No personality, nothing, no attributes. One step down, the next level of consciousness of the ascended masters. The ascended masters, they have personalities. There is no one, there are many. I said so many ascended masters are there. And everybody has certain characteristics. The moment you attune to one, you'll attune to a certain quality. It has begun, the separation begins there. You come down, more masters coming in on the physical level. There at least it's too much diversified by this time. If you come into the physicality, because every guru, every master has a personality, and each is different from each other. You can easily separate. Oh, this is different. This is different. This is different. Higher you go, there is no. You cannot differentiate. It's very difficult. Everything seems like one. The lower you come, it is easier to separate. That is a hint of duality, dvanda. And the more you keep coming down the rung, you'll see more and more diversity is happening down the hierarchy. So that is why Ramana called it as the direct path. What is the direct path? You straight go to the self or the higher self or the God. What did he say? Guru, God, and self are same. No difference. This is what I'm saying. My consciousness, outside conscious, God's consciousness. When you merge, you will see it's the same. So that is why it is called the direct path. And that is why I put that post also from the conscious immortality, where I was reading that day. Very clearly says that. I don't know where it was. Very clearly said that God, Guru, and Self is the same. There is no much difference. You were saying in that the all other paths are indirect. It takes a lot of time, but the last path, whichever path you take, the end part of that path will always be Atma Vichara. Atma Vichara means where you contemplate directly on the soul attributes. Nothing else is left. Straight you are dealing with the soul, but you cannot come to that level directly. So you need so many paths जो हंडिया अंदर से घिसते रहेगी. It keeps purifying, 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 purifying. And one day when, or one time when that purification happens, then you will start seeing something more important or something that's more subtle. That's your soul. Then you start relating with the soul, connecting with that soul, being interested in that soul. That is what he calls as Atma Vichara. And he says the opposite of Atma Vichara is Sansar Vichara. Sansar Vichara is, if you are not in Atma Vichara, you will automatically tumble into Sansar Vichara. Sansarik Vichara. Sansarik Vichara is what keeps us glued into Maya. It's exactly the same fundamentals that I'm explaining in shifting into awareness. Like Atma Vichara and Sansar Vichara, two opposites. Either you are in Atma Vichara or you are in Sansar Vichara, which I on and often have told in shifting into awareness. Either you're shifting into awareness, that is Atma Vichara, or you're drifting into the mind, that is Sansar Vichara. Sansar is mind. Either you're living in the Sansara, Maya, mind is Maya, or you're shifting into awareness, which is Atma Vichara. Awareness is what? You, the self, the soul, Atma. What did I say? Shifting into awareness. It's the same stuff, which is simplified. I'm just simplifying these practices. So it's the same Ramana Tattva only. When I say you're drifting into the mind and shifting into the awareness, drifting into the mind, shifting into awareness. What Ramana is saying is Sansar Vichara, Atma Vichara. Sansar Vichara, Atma Vichara. So he is telling abide more in Atma Vichara, abide more with the self, because if you don't, you will automatically fall into Sansar Vichara, which is what I say. If you are not in awareness, you will immediately fall into the mind. So he is one. I didn't get it. He is one person. Ramana is one person who is not interested in our excuses. So anybody who went to him with any kind of excuses, Bhagwan, this is happening, that is, he will straight go to the soul. You do anything, you play any games with him, he will bring you back to the soul. You will see that. You check out his books, you check out his questions, he will bring you back to the soul. And he will not beat around the bush because he has no vested interest with you. He doesn't want your money, he doesn't want your time, he doesn't want your seva, he doesn't want anything out of you. He only wants your freedom. So freedom is direct. Directly we'll talk about that straight, whether you like it or not. Many people didn't like it. So there were people who tried to argue with him, he would go silent. He would just say, find out who's the one who's doing it. Go into the self and do it. So when somebody went to him and said, too much thoughts, I'm having too much thoughts, he would say, go to the source and find from where is that thought coming. Instead of being worried about the thoughts, find from where it is starting. Do Atma Vichara, he would say. And this is a direct path. You can go there, abide in that. They would say, no, 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 but we have heard in this path it's this way. This path has told this way. This Shastra has told this way. What he would become quiet. Then they would explain, no, no, Bhagwan, it is this way, that way. He would be quiet. Please say something. Am I right? Am I wrong? What do you think? I feel this way. He would be quiet. After some time, both quiet. Then slowly the person will bow down and leave. When they leave, the people will be curiously looking at him. What happened? And then Bhagwan would know what has happened. He would say he's not going to change. He has got solid, rigid beliefs. He's conditioned that way. So what is the solution? Bhagwan says the only solution is let him go and find his path. Let him go and continue on doing whatever he is doing until he realizes it one day that he has to come back into the same stuff. Till then, those rigidity is needed. So let him go, don't stop. So he was not interested in convincing anybody, converting anybody. He was only ready to work with the willing. Who are willing, he shared. So, आप सुने आपका भला, नहीं सुने आपका भला. He had nothing to do. True masters, nothing to do with. Okay, sorry, I did not look into this YouTube comments and all that. Okay. See, somebody asked him, the tendencies distract me. Can they be cast off? And Bhagwan says, yes. Others have done so. Therefore, believe it that way. Look at others and learn, he says. They did so because they believed they could. Whoever shed their tendencies, because they had a firm belief in themselves. What did I say? Faith. They were able to do it. It can be done by concentration on that which is free from disposition and yet is their core. See? Look at him. He's brought the person back into that soul only again. Self. But in different words. So he says it's possible. Others have done it. So look at others and learn and see that it's possible because others have done it, so it's possible. Why are you doubting your possibility? Look at Ramana, look at Bhagwan Nityananda, look at Nisargadatta Maharaj, look at all those people who have completely eradicated all their attributes. It's possible. Their tendencies are all completely gone. It's possible. He says, look at them and at least believe it. And then he says his same thing, how he brings back. It can be done by concentration on that, means it can be done by focusing your awareness on that which is free from dispositions, which is meaning which is free from all the conditioned belief. What is free from all the conditioned beliefs and tendencies and all that? The soul. So he says it can be done by concentrating on that which is free from disposition and yet is their core. It is free of everything, yet it is the core, it is the center. So anything you, any words you play with, any question you ask, you will come back to that. That was his knack, and that is the direct path, direct answers. No hundreds of methods and distraction running around here and do this for that and that for that. It's like the English medicine. Oh, you have a problem in your kidney, then you take this medicine, and you take this medicine because of the side effect that will cause trouble to your liver. So if you take this medicine, your liver, the problem that is going to cause, it is going to somewhere balance it. But this liver medicine that you're going to take, that for that you take another medicine because that might affect your heart, that medicine. And to protect the heart, you need a, this is the whole play that's going on of paths when we say. टू डू दिस, इसका परिहार के लिए ये करो, इसके परिहार के लिए वो करो, उसको ऐसे करने के लिए ऐसे करो, इसके साथ उसको जोड़ो, उसके साथ ये करो. Goes on and nobody wants to go straight to the core from where all these problems are arising. And he continues and says, if the longing is there, realization will be forced even if you do not want it. What more assurance? He says, if this much is done, means abiding in the self, that means if you keep shifting into awareness and staying in awareness, staying in, abiding in that awareness at all times, tendencies will get uprooted automatically. And he says, if the longing is there, I have told this, the prerequisite for this intense longing, I used to say this, I had done one session last week. It was an intense longing, the will to do that. So here he's saying the same. If the longing is there, realization will be forced upon even if you do not want it. Means you don't have to even desire about self-realization. Only this practice of abiding and remaining there, means shifting into awareness and making it convert into living in awareness. That much is enough to get rid of everything else, and the realization just blossom. Because what has he told? Realization is nothing to be attained from somewhere. It is there within you. You are already realized. Some layers of these conditionings are there. So we let alone the conditioning. We are not going to fight with anything. All the samskaras, the tendencies, all that stuff. This vasana, this karma, that karma. Nothing to put your attention there on. You move into the soul abidance. And in the soul abidance, when you stay and keep on extending and expanding that awareness, what happens is the tendencies start fading away. And what are these tendencies? These are the layers that is causing your obstacles. So the sooner they dissolve away, suddenly realization appears. That's what he's saying. If the longing is there, realization will be forced even if you do not want it. So it's not about even wanting realization. It is just about being in your being, and you're there. It leads you straight to that, whether you want it or not. What can be more simple than this? You have any questions, you can ask. So I told some of you I know, send messages also, that you watched today's session, because I'm slowly actually getting to the point of what you are looking in life. So it's not a one day affair. It's not a one session and you're going to open it up. You got to be very consistent in this, because layer by layers, if you do these simple things, and today I didn't speak anything about awareness. I was just telling about the obstacles that cause you not to get into awareness. That's your conditionings. And if you have observed for the past 3 4 sessions, I've been only talking about conditionings. Listen to Osho as much as possible. Listen to Osho. Most of the conditions will get uprooted. That's all. And then you can get into your simultaneously into your awareness practice. Because there the practices are not there, but the unconditioning lot of things are there with Osho elements. So you can get into that. Okay, fine. Okay, Jay Kumarji. Very nice session. Thank you. So I'm glad that you're enjoying these sessions and these sessions are helping you. I was not aware of it. I was thinking because only people tell these work, because I was surprised in Tiruvannamalai when they opened up and they said this is working this way, and we discussed on certain things where we could not connect with. They were humble enough to answer or ask certain things. If you said in this way, if we do it in this way, then there is a this kind of a blockage, and how do we clear that? And if this thing is clear, then this thing happens. And we were going little, then sitting there we were not just philosophing, we were actually doing the practice while we talk. That's what I do, particularly even in sessions. We don't talk there, this practice goes on simultaneously. And bingo, they got it. One of them got it and said, this is it, this is it. And he was so happy, he banged his hand on his on the ground and said, this is it. Sometimes it can take even eons for us to, and the gap might be somewhere. Now if we are so rigid and we say, I know, why should I've been with so many masters and so many long journeys and all that, it's so embarrassing to ask questions. No, this is what I said, the willing, the humility. See, it's not that I'm perfect. When I need anything that I need to open up, I approach people whom I trust on and take feedbacks, or I try to look into there, and it just opens up. It's a small thing. So that openness should be there at all time. It's really helping a lot भैया. आपकी बातें अंदर तक शेक कर देती है. ये शेक क्यों होता है? शेक और भूकंप तब होती है जब बहुत होता है अपने अंदर. वेरी गुड, दैट इज शेकिंग ऑफ द शेक. क्रिया क्यों होती है? Many people have this kundalini kriyas happening. I know a few people who used to have great pleasure in demonstrating those kriyas. So जब क्रिया होती थी, they used to shake like hell, and because somewhere the inner feeling was that the more kriyas I have, the more things are happening to me. It just means more stuff is stuffed into you. Energy cannot rise, and that's when it actually shatters everything from within, and it's very painful. Like yesterday in the video, I was saying that Ketki was just saying that I went and sat in the pyramid and I'm feeling something here, throat. The blockages, it just gets cleared when the energy rises and you're connected. All the blockages gets cleared. So that's okay. Those things are very normal to happen. But yes, there is honesty in asking these things, and which you do not know. We want clarity on. Malaji, awareness is emptying my mind and I feel so happy and calm by here. That's very nice. Because living in awareness will just empty the mind. Very simple. Doership is not required. Just in the being, if you are, the doing is not needed. Anita ji, thoroughly enjoy your session. Stay blessed. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad that is helping you. Ruby Lopez. So much of clarity and simplicity and practicality. Yeah, because spirituality is very simple. And the moment you have clarity, the three words that you use, clarity, simplicity, practicality, I will put them in sequence. First is clarity that you must seek. So for clarity, no, first is practicality. For clarity to come in, you need to be very practical. And the result is simplicity. I can see everything works indirectly, not just one or two. See, I can say if you have practicality, if you are very practical, you'll have clarity. And if you have clarity, you'll have simplicity. Or you put it the other way. If you have clarity, you will become more practical. If you become practical, you will attain simplicity, or you reverse it again. If you become very simple, very, very simple and normal, you automatically become practical. When you become practical, you have clarity. See how these all three work together. Thanks a lot for the precious sessions, Krishna Chattopadhyay. Asha Kapoor, feeling more and more peaceful by practicing awareness. Yes, that will happen. And we are actually here to attain that, the blissfulness, the cheerfulness, the peacefulness. That is what we are looking for. That's simple. That is what I was telling in a couple of sessions past 2 3 days. We are simply looking for peace. To get that peace, we do so many things. To get that peace, happiness, and contentment, these three things, we do so many things and yet remain uncontented, not contented. Sanjay Singh, thank you so much for the insights, offerings of loves, and gratitude. Gratitude for you also being here. That's how these sessions take place. Okay, so just briefing. I have these sessions coming up in the satsang coming up in Mumbai. I keep forgetting this every time. Yeah, the first one is in Ghatkopar and second is in Juhu. So fifth it is Ghatkopar, sixth it is in Juhu. In Juhu it's in a hotel. Or let me correct this. I don't know. Let me just see. Okay. I don't know. Breach Candy. It was told I could see. Anyways, it's not very this. If you just have these dates and if you're somewhere around Mumbai, this is only for Mumbai people. And again, I'm telling this is not for people who are on any other path. I am not bothered to bring in any people here. I've told even the people who are organizing, do not call anybody from any other paths and all that. Just who are there open, who have, because it's very easy for me if they are not conditioned. If they have learned too many things, then it's a hodgepodge and then it becomes very competitive. But I'm trying to pull people from it. I have no interest in that and I will never get into that. So if anybody is new here who wants to, and I've told, okay, if somebody is following these platforms like shifting into awareness very keenly and they are very sincerely doing it, we can identify them very clearly. That is why I've not exposed the address and all those things here. So you just sign up for this event. There's a form that's there down below, or you can send an email to shiftingintoawareness@gmail.com, or you can write internal message here on the instant messenger, and I will look into it. I will share you the details once I know that you are somebody regular from here, because only for them it's going to benefit. And it's, I think, a couple of hours they have kept. They just it's like an introduction thing only, so it will help those people who already know about it very well. And there is one Zoom session also on 8 that I'll be doing it from a different location. So who wants to join there also can join. From your home also you can see that Zoom event. But again, you will have to sign up for the event, that I will share it with you. And I'm going to do it from a very divine location with the grace of the Ascended Masters. So you can join there. Kanubai, thank you. Ashaji, thank you. Adi Gaming, thank you. Anita ji, lots of gratitude. Mega. It's helping me immensely. It will help you, and it will continue helping. It will continue deepening. I can say that with conviction because I am myself my own proof. I know it works very well, and probably that is why, probably I've got this opportunity to share it very much. Arunachala's blessings, these are. Malaleshwari's blessings, these are. My Gurudev's blessings, these are. Okay, then. I think it's all done. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight. And I'll try to share this. The people whom I told to join today's live, it's still not touched that subject, but I was thinking last moment that if you work on just this, or if you're just prepared and aware of these things, then we can take things little more further. Since I do not have a course still in place, I'm trying to simplify it for you step by step. Probably if tomorrow is possible, i will I will do it tomorrow. I'll continue tomorrow if tomorrow is possible at night. Poonamji, thank you. Vaishali, practicing with awareness, helping to stay in present condition. Thank you. Yeah, this is very important. All the whole practice is not about anything. It's about whatever life conditions you are in, whichever life situations you are in. Whether you're married, whether you're unmarried, whether you're planning to marry, whether you're planning to divorce, whether you're planning whatever that is, whatever situation, you're stuck in a muck, you're stuck in problems, you're you're free but still not feel free. All these aspects are there. Awareness is adding awareness to whichever situation you are without complaining about I'm not having this. That is what I told the consultation today, that do not focus on I don't have this. Just be happy with, because whatever you have created out of your own karma. It is supposed to be. Everything is supposed to be. The people in your life are supposed to be. The problems in your life are supposed to be. It is meant to be, because it's all karmic cause and effect that's happening. Now what you can do is, it's your own creation. So how to stay afloat, how to not let it affect you. So we are not trying to dodge the prarabdha, or destroy the prarabdha or sanchita and all that stuff, because in that too much of doing and too much of exhaustion happens. Whereas you are just looking at living life fully in whichever circumstances you are in, whatever the condition of life is, you are enjoying it. I've told you this often. It doesn't mean if I'm sitting here and peaceful and enjoying the tranquility, I don't have problems. There are, but I don't care. I don't go into that zone. So whatever has to take care will take care of it in some way. But I remain focused and present in my awareness. So I know it can be done from any point of view, any stage of life that you are in. And slowly, I'm telling you, it will give you enough evidence to prove it to yourself that it works. Over a period of time, you will see even transformations happening within, and you will see the evolution happening. Many times people say, no, I've not had this. For I have had examples like, 6 years, 7 years, everything has stopped. I don't know where I am. Nothing is working. There's no feeling. There's no happening that's happening within. And for those people, in just 1 or 2 days, 1 or 2 days, just getting into that awareness, it's like a whole leap that has happened. So it's not about the practice. It is about that little gaps that you need to be just leave it. Whereas we keep all these gaps and we aim for something bigger, something more complicated. We think more the complication, more the difficult, that the more we sweat it out, the more we hog on it, the more we crib on it, the more we exalt it, the more powerful. No, that's the power game mind, our tendency. If you're a power freak, then you'll feel that way. So it's not in that. It's absolutely not in that. So with lots of divine love and light to all of you. Deepaji, thank you. Manojji, thank you. Lots of divine love and light to all of you. Stay blessed. May we all evolve. May we all be free. Avadhuta Chintan Shri Gurudev Datta. Take care. If possible, I'll meet you tomorrow. Otherwise, later. Vaishali, okay. You agree that it's changing with joyfulness in any situation. If you see in Drishtabhav, that's the witness. Stay blessed.